Hi everyone, welcome back to the Anand studio. Today we have Niranjan Mukundan, our very special guest today. He is a para swimmer. He was the junior world champion in 2015. Highest world ranking of his is 10. He is an Asian record holder. He has won a lot of national and international medals. Okay. So without much of ado, we'll jump straight into a discussion with him. Namaste, Niranjan. Thanks for
Namaste, sir.
joining. Thanks for
Thank you.
joining.
Thank you
It's
so
a
much.
pleasure.
My
It's a
pleasure.
pleasure having you. So, can you take us through your earlier years? Why did you choose swimming? And how did you went to become the junior world champion in 2015? I know we are covering a lot of years in some minutes, but if you can take us through that, it'll be really great for our audience.
Well, yeah, as you said, I was crowned as a junior world champion in the year 2015. But if I have to go back and recall the years earlier to that, I started swimming at the age of 8, and I was put into water as part of aquatherapy. I was born with a medical condition called spina bifida and clubbed feet, and the doctors had suggested to take up, horse riding or swimming. As a kid, I was very intimidated and was very scared of a big figure of a horse. So I just thought, why don't I just get into the water and tap my hands and legs? And that's how I got introduced to swimming. My parents and my family members took me to the swimming pool nearby and enrolled me there. One of the coaches spotted me there and said, "This kid has a lot more potential, and why don't you try something called para sports?" We had no clue about what para sports could be, or there are like different games for differently abled people. The main goal for us was for me to be independent, for me to walk independently, for me to stand independently. But we never thought we could take up a sport such professionally and take it up to this level. But over the years, I fell in love with the sport, and I guess there were like-minded people, my coach, my family members, my teammates, who also thought that I had that potential. And here I am today, being a proud Paralympian. And to recall the instant of becoming the junior world champion, it took me around 10 years of good hard work. I started swimming for 30 minutes a day, and then it became 45 minutes, 1 hour, 3 hours, 6 hours. And then once I got a call saying that, you're ready to represent the country now. That was like a big dream come true for me. Started representing the country in some open meets, and then started representing in some big events. And then 2015, I got a chance to represent our country in the Junior World Games, where that was the last competition for me at the junior level. I was transiting from the junior level to the senior level. So that was probably the last junior games for me in my career. And we went in there, me, my coach, and my team. We went in there with the only hope of finishing on a high note, because my career at the junior level was getting over with that. And at the end of the games, I was crowned as the junior world champion, winning 7 golds, 3 silvers, creating a record there, making history. So that is something very special that I'm going to take it for a very long time.
Definitely. Yeah, it's such a great achievement. All right. It's a great achievement and you will cherish it throughout your life. All right.
Yeah.
So definitely. So what are the milestones that you have achieved after post 2015 till the Tokyo Olympics recently? You must have, I saw your bio in multiple places. Even I think there's a website for the Olympics, right? Where they talk about your bio and so a lot of medals won. Okay, in some occasions you have won even 8, 9 medals and all that, right? So many medals, right? Can you talk about some of the milestones that you cherish from 2015 till the Tokyo one?
So 2015 year was a very special year for me. Once I got crowned as a junior world champion, I was also a recipient of the prestigious national award by our country, which is one of the most prestigious awards that's been given to the athletes with a disability. I was honored with the national award in the year 2015. Post that, I also became the first Indian para swimmer to cross the 50 medal mark. That is, winning 50 odd medals representing your country. Currently, I stand with 66 medals representing our country at various championships and tournaments. I was also inducted in the Forbes list, 30 under 30 Asian list, where my name was under the game changers of Asia, which was also a big dream come true for me. Ever since then, I've been part of the Indian senior team, and of course, I recently also represented our country at the Tokyo Paralympic Games, which was the biggest dream for any athlete, for that matter. When you take up a sport professionally, you definitely want to represent your country at the Olympics or Paralympics. So I think it was not just for me, but for my entire family, it was a dream come true. When you look back through the years, my family, my parents, in fact, my mom, who's a working mom, also took up so much of load, so much of
Definitely.
pressure at that time to balance work and family, and a lot of sacrifice was made by my family. So when we look that down the lane, I think we've come a long way, and we've come together. It's not just my sacrifice and my training. I think it's a group effort. It's something that I always look forward to, and I always will remember for the rest of my life.
Definitely, yeah. I can totally associate, and it's the whole family unit, right, that really
Yeah,
supports this whole thing for any
yeah,
athlete, for that matter. It's not easy, I
yeah.
would think, right? For me, entering into water itself is a big deal. Yeah. Oh my God, I get terrified. I can't swim. I can't even imagine. But you
Right.
have to train yourself a lot. It's not a small thing, right? How did you do that? Okay, it must a lot of effort must have gone into it. Okay, training for even Olympics and all the other tournaments that you've participated so far.
I mean, of course, you need that hard work, dedication, and sacrifice, because when you get a chance to represent your country at the highest level, not everyone gets that opportunity. Maybe you make it to the junior level, probably only the ones who are fortunate enough and who have that ability to go to the next level get a chance to represent your country at the highest level. And of course, it's a lot of responsibility, because you are probably representing 130 crore people of your country, and everyone's expecting a lot of good results from you. And consistency is again the key. You can't just win a medal at one games and then you vanish, or you don't perform well in the other events. So of course, there's a lot of responsibility. I trained most of my career here. In the recent past, I trained abroad. I was given a scholarship in Thailand to be trained there with one of the best coaches in the world, who has already produced a lot of Olympic and Paralympic medalists. So I was very fortunate enough to have him and his entire team, who took care of me, who didn't make me feel like I'm different or I'm from a different country. So that's something that I realized. And I was treated normally there. So that's something that gave me more confidence to see the sport in the way it has to be seen, not just be seen in a sympathetic way, or to see, that you are a differently abled person. I was there have been instances where I've been sent back home for not training well. I've been punished for not doing the workout properly. So that's given me more confidence. That's made me realize that I'm not less than anybody in the team or in the world. And that's made me what I am today. Had I been treated specially, had I been given that a special consideration of me having a small disability, it would have probably made me a little more lazy. It would have probably made me take things for granted. But both my coaches here in India, or it could be abroad, had that in mind, that I should not be given any special privileges, and that's one thing that's worked in both of our favors, and has gotten me where I am today.
I totally agree with that. Okay, although yeah, I will not be able to relate to that because I'm not an athlete. Okay,
Right.
like you. All right. So, but I can see because I've seen what people have talked earlier, what they have done. Right. I know your
Yeah.
inspiration is Michael Phelps, right?
Yeah.
Right?
I mean, Michael Phelps, of course, he's been the GOAT of swimming. And I unfortunately haven't met him. A couple of occasions were there. But then, when he had come to India, I was not in India. Though he's been my favorite. I've not met him yet, but he's been the GOAT of swimming. You look at him over the years, how he had transformed himself to become the best in the world. Um, I try to derive motivation and inspiration from everyone around me, from everything around me. And I think that gives a lot of confidence, that keeps you grounded, as well as, it also clears your mind to see what your goals are. And sometimes your rival becomes your opponent. So those are the things that you learn from, and those are the things that you're going to take it to your future as well.
Yeah. And I saw somewhere that your inspiration is also Rahul Dravid on the cricket
Yes,
side,
yes,
right?
yes. Of course.
How does he inspire you? Because he plays
See
cricket, he
me.
does not swim. How
He
does he
doesn't
inspire
swim.
you?
See, I have grown up watching him play, and I was very fortunate enough to be a part of a foundation called Go Sports Foundation, where he's part of the advisory team as well. So
Okay.
I've got a lot of occasions to meet with him, have a chat with him, and whenever I used to have a surgery during my early childhood days, I have undergone around 19 major surgeries since birth. So every time I had a surgery, I was out of practice for almost 3 months to 6 months. So I used to watch him play. I used to copy how he is so calm and composed in the
Hmm.
field and off field. You rarely see him lose his calm and composure. It could be during his playing days, or even after his playing days. And somehow I could relate to that and see I wanted to be like him. And when I met him for the first time, I guess it was like 10 years ago. He was so calm, composed, and when I introduced myself, he said, "Yes, I've read about you. I've seen your video." So it was so overwhelming, such a big legend knowing about you. And ever since then, I've met him at a multiple occasions, and every time I meet him, I'm so awestruck that I'm out of words. I don't even get to ask what I want to ask, or I want to convey what I want to convey. But such legends in cricket also expanded my horizon. They also became an advisory board for athletic sports, Olympic and Paralympic sports as well. So it's great to see such legends giving back not just to the cricket fraternity, but also to the sporting community on the whole.
Definitely. And I think Rahul Dravid is also a great human being. Okay.
Definitely.
He is humble. This whole
Yes.
fame does not go to his head. Right? That's what we
Sure.
have seen of him, right? So I think
Yeah.
that's also very important for an athlete, right? To just stay grounded, focused,
Yeah.
and then go towards the goal, right?
Right.
So
Yeah.
you might have also seen some failures in your life, right? So
Yeah.
how did you overcome that? Can you give us one such incident where you were feeling very low and you came and you overcame that and went to the next greater heights?
I mean, see, as an athlete, if you have to take your victories, you'll have to take your losses as well.
Right?
I mean, and I have grown up in my sport by seeing a lot of failures. I've not been a born champion. When I took up swimming, I had a lot of events where I lost narrowly. There have
Hmm.
been a lot of events where I've lost drastically, where I thought probably it's time for me to quit. One such
Hmm.
incident was, I think, in 2014 Commonwealth Games when I qualified. I had an injury like a month before the competition. And I was so well prepared, but unfortunately, I had to withdraw from the competition because the injury was so bad and I had to undergo a surgery. I thought it's time for me to quit, probably take up something else. Professional sport is not working for me. 2 years after joining the competitive sport, when I represented for the first time in 2012, and in 2014 I wanted to quit. But I contacted a lot of experts. I had a chat with a lot of professionals. Took timely help to see what it takes to become a champion. And in 2 months after Commonwealth Games, there was the World Games coming up, and I finished with 8 medals there. And then I realized that swimming is not just about competing. It's much more than that. Not just swimming. Sport is not just about competing. sport is much more than what it is. It is about your lifestyle. It's about fitness. It's about that mental state of mind. And I also realized that, one loss cannot judge or have that impact in your career. So and then again I started well. It took some time for me to get back to form, but then I realized that I'll have to take one day at a time. I can't rush into things, and that's what even my coaches have taught me: one day at a time. And they've also taught me that even if you don't feel like quitting your sport, that means you're not doing the sport right. So you will have to think of quitting your sport and then wake up the next day morning and head to the pool. So when you do that, that means you're doing everything right. If you don't enjoy what you're doing, that means you're doing something wrong there.
Totally understand. I totally get it.
Yeah.
How do you see the sports evolving in India over all the years that you have been in sports, right? And how do you see it now, currently?
I mean, if I have to talk about para sports, people did not have awareness about para sports, and they only thought it's going to be, differently abled people just taking part in a competition. People did not have so much of awareness about, Paralympics, Asian Games, Commonwealth Games, and we also, put in as much as or even more efforts and hard work as our counterparts of able-bodied people do. But over the years, I think we've been performing well at the international level. We've been winning medals at the international level. We have to compare it 10 years before to what we are now. We've created history at the Tokyo Paralympics, now winning 19 medals. Yeah. And, even if you look at the 2018 Commonwealth Games, Asian Games, we've done exceedingly well at the international level. So that's caught eyes of the people. That's got eyes of the brands. That's got eyes of the government. Well, I would say we're not yet fully there, but there is a shift in the mindset of people. There's a shift in the mindset of the government. There are a few exclusive policies now done just for the para sports. There are a few exclusive cash awards and rewards that have been given to the para athletes in the country. So yes, there is a shift in the right direction, but I would say it's going to take some more time to see the full shift.
Yeah, and I think even the facilities have to be ramped up quite a lot. I know there's awareness. Government is quite seriously looking at that, and the evolution has happened there too, right? So every government has to take this really seriously, create those international facilities here. I mean, to that level, right? So that everybody can go there and practice and train themselves and all that. I think that's where a lot of investment is still needed. A lot of focus is needed. But I think whatever is happening today, I think there's a big paradigm shift already there. But I think we have to kind of step that up quite a bit to really reach there. But 19 medals is history, I think, right? So it's lovely. I was looking at the India Today conclave also, right? There was some discussions around that and wonderful achievements by everyone. Okay. Given the limited facilities that we have even today, but I think there's a lot of focus and a lot of support also being given by the government. And you met Prime Minister Modi also. You were sitting right next to him. Okay, how did you feel about that? Can you take us through that?
I mean, I was caught by surprise because my seating was next to the Honorable Prime Minister, and the seating was by the PMO office, so we didn't know who's going to sit where. When I sat there and then the Honorable Prime Minister came and sat next to me, my heart started thumping so fast that I was just going through a lot of emotions that I just can't express it through words. But of course, it was a great feeling sitting next to the Honorable Prime Minister and such a big personality, the leader of the country. Spending so much of time with the athletes, which each and every athlete, and motivating us for the performance at the Tokyo Paralympics, and also wishing us for the other major events coming up was a great boost for us. And this was not just now. Even before we went to the Paralympics, we did have a conversation virtually with the Honorable Prime Minister. So I think, that has motivated us. That has given us a lot of hope that the entire country is watching us. I remember when the Honorable Prime Minister asked me as to if I spoke to my parents after the race got over, what was the emotions that was going through. When I said that I couldn't win a medal this time, he also mentioned that not everybody gets a chance to represent 130 crore population in a big event like the Olympics or Paralympics. So you are already a winner there, and that was the kind of motivation that he was giving to the athletes. And he always said that the entire country is with you, the entire country is rooting for you. And in fact, we had instances where the Honorable Prime Minister watched our races. It could be early in the morning, late in the evening. Still, he watched the races, motivated us, gave a direct call to athletes who won medals at the Paralympics. And none of the prime ministers or the presidents in the world I have seen have done this ever in the past. So even when we had conversations with our counterparts and our fellow mates in the Tokyo village, they were caught by surprise and they were like, your country's prime minister is talking to you
Wow.
one-on-one. That's like a huge thing. So of course it was a moment to be cherished, and we had a great interaction with the Honorable Prime Minister, where we were invited to his house, and we in fact had breakfast there. So it's a great interaction and a great moment of pride.
Definitely. And Modi ji
Yes,
is a thinker, right?
correct.
He differentiates himself in whatever he does. That's what I've seen
Right.
of him. So it's not just
Yeah.
a meeting, even
Yeah.
with all the Olympians that he met. Okay, it was
Yeah.
an interaction. He was
True.
creating a conversation there. He was trying to
Right.
understand. He knew about the athletes. And
Yes.
Anurag Thakur, who is another union minister, right, for sports,
Yes.
so he was also telling that he used to keep a track of who is doing what during the games.
Right.
Right?
Yes.
He's so
Absolutely.
meticulous. He's not just a person who's
Yes.
going to just meet you and say, have a breakfast, bye bye. But he has that
Yes.
interaction. He understands, he interacts, he converses, okay, and he motivates. Some people were disappointed that they did not get the medals or whatever. His
Yes.
message to them was reaching here itself was a big feat. Be proud of it.
True. Yeah.
Medals will come again next time around, but this moment is very important. Okay, so it's so
Yes.
good. It inspires not just the athletes, but every youth of India is watching this. Every Indian
True.
is watching this, right? So they will get this whole thing that they have to go forward and achieve for themselves, right? So that's
Yeah.
important. Yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah, very much. So you also met Mr. Puneethrajkumar, right?
Yes, indeed.
So how was that interaction? I know for a fact that you love watching movies also because I saw in some
Yes.
websites, right? So how did that interaction go?
So, I mean, I'm a big movie buff and a cricket buff. If ever I am in town, and I have a lot of friends. That's one thing that I've always made over the years.
Yeah.
Anywhere you see, I have a group of people around me, my friends, my close friends. So it was a surprise when Puneeth had called us to his house, and he said we would like to have lunch with you and the other fellow mates who had gone to the Paralympics and the Olympics. So it was a great interaction. We've all been fans of Rajkumar sir, the legend Rajkumar sir, and his family members and his son inviting us for lunch home was a big thing. And so humble, warmth. The entire family was so humble and warm. They received us, and we had a great interaction for about a couple of hours, and then we had lunch with the entire family. He even felicitated us at his house, and it was a great one day at his house. And I mean, I've met Puneeth at a couple of occasions outside for award ceremonies and other places, but then this was something very, very special to us, and it hasn't happened in the past anytime. So it was very such a sweet gesture by him and the entire family. Actually, we had Puneeth and his family. We had Raghavendra Rajkumar and his family. They're receiving us as their own family members, and when they got to know that there were two people from the entire Karnataka who represented the India at the Paralympic Games, it was such a great feeling for them. And they said, you don't represent just your family, but you represent us.
Yeah.
So words, such words from such a great accomplished actor, such a legendary actor's son, motivates us as well, and it gives us a lot more confidence that such people are also watching us and cheering for us. He in fact mentioned that if there is time and if there is the rules and regulations permit, they want to come to Paris in 2024 and watch us live for the Olympics
Lovely.
and Paralympics, which
Lovely.
is amazing.
Definitely. Hats off to Puneeth sir. Really good, really good. So coming to your hobbies, movies is one, and
Yeah.
you also do photography, right?
Yeah, I am an avid photographer. I mean, it's just that I get to travel a lot, and I love clicking pictures. So that is something that I've been trying over the years, and I'm just doing it as my hobby now.
Okay. So, which movie did you like the best? If you have to talk about two movies, it can be any language.
I mean, Mary Kom is something that I loved when sport got into it, and it was
Yeah,
one of its own kind.
yeah.
To see how a women boxer came up to facing all the struggles and hurdles and came up. I mean, Mary Kom has obviously been an inspiration, but a movie on that was amazing. Bhag Milka Bhag was another amazing movie that was done in Bollywood. That also took everyone through the
Definitely.
journey of Milka Singh. And there've been a lot of occasions like that. It could be from Hindi fraternity, it could be from the other languages as well. But not just sticking to sport. I kind of enjoy watching
Hmm.
movies.
Hmm.
It's kind of a stress buster because you are always in a lot of tension, lot of stress. At least those 2 to 3 hours that you watch something, you're out of it. You're just thinking about the movie or just watching the movie. So that is something that takes you and gives you a break.
Definitely, definitely. So, Invictus, right? If you have seen that movie, Invictus, okay, it shows
Uh-huh.
how sports gets all
Yeah.
the people together in a country also for that matter. Okay, so it's
Right.
so
Right.
powerful. Sports, music, and
Yeah.
all that is so
Yeah.
powerful. Okay, if that's used the
Yes.
right way, also, right? The
Right.
same kind of mindset, and so that goes a long way. All
Yeah.
right, we have talked about your hobbies. Now, what are your future plans?
So as of now, I was about to take a break after the Paralympics started, but the schedule is so packed again and jammed again that I couldn't take a break now, and I am leaving to Europe in a couple of weeks for
Okay,
a training stint for a few months, and then I will be competing in a few events there as well. I have a packed schedule next year with the Asian Games, Commonwealth Games, World Championship coming up. And if you look at it from an athlete's point of view, the Paris Paralympics is just around the corner because of the
hmm,
COVID situation. The Olympic cycle has been reduced to 3 years. So 2024 is not far away, and we're almost done with 2021 now. So it's technically 2.5 years left for the next Paralympics. So I'll be definitely getting up for that. From the professional point of view. But post that, I think I want to start off with my own academy. I want to help the next generation of Paralympic athletes as well as the abled athletes to realize their goals, reach their goals. That's a long-term plan that I have. I want to start off with my own academy, probably in Bangalore itself, the place which has given me everything, the place where I was born in. So that is something that I want to give back to the community and to the sport.
great, great. Good. You are thinking about giving back to the society. Okay, and that's also very important. It's not just what
Yeah.
we are doing individually, but how do we give back to society? And wonderful, you are doing that.
Right.
And I hope you can also watch some movies in between before you go to Europe. Okay.
I hope to. I mean, during the Olympic cycle, it was very difficult. I
Yeah.
was not able to use as much as my electronic gadgets My phones, my laptops were all restricted by the coach and the team because I had to focus on the game. Now that I have some free time and no Olympic in the next 6 to 8 months, I have all my gadgets around me. Me always being that gadget buff and a tech buff, I love to have these phones and gadgets around me. So now that I have the freedom to use it, probably watch a little more movies that I have to catch up over the years that I missed, and yeah.
Super, super. The whole of India is proud of you, Niranjan.
Thank you.
And thanks for everything that you do.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you
thanks
so much.
For your time. Happy Navratri.
Thank you. My pleasure. Thank you so much,
Thank
sir.
you.